Namaskar. Hi friends. This is Brigu Nadi Ramm Gopaall. So I am practicing Nadi astrologer. I teach Brigu Nadi astrology, Brigu Nadi numerology, Brigu Nadi Vasthu, Kashyapa Hora, and some other concepts like Swara Yoga, Kala Hora. So these are the courses generally I have been teaching for a long time, around 20 years. For the last 25 years, my experience has helped me a lot to broaden the origins of Brigu Nadi. And my students are successfully practicing Brigu Nadi. At the same time, even some of my students started even teaching also. They also have become teachers. In the North India, there are many, I have many students who are teaching particularly in Hindi. Anyhow, today we are going to discuss education. Generally, the people will come. Will my child study which course? So which course my children should choose? And some people will ask, will I succeed in my examination this year or not? Is this year good for me or not for education? So you see, some people, some students will pass the examination with flying colors. They get through the examination with distinction. But some students fail. Why? So what is the difference between slow learners and fast learners? What might be the combinations for slow learners and fast learners? Today we are going to discuss all these things regarding education, and I hope you liked all my previous videos which I have posted on Brigu Nadi. At the same time, now I request you to please like my video and share my videos. At the same time, if you have not yet subscribed my channel, Brigu Nadi Astrology.com. If you have not subscribed my channel so far, please subscribe my channel so that you will get notifications whenever we release a new videos. So anyhow, I welcome all of you to the world of Nadi astrology, and today we are going to discuss education. So generally, you see, some people get distinction and ranks in the examination, where they may be academics or it may be competitive examination. Suppose in the horoscope, which planet is the causative planet for education? Mercury is causative planet for education. Mercury is causative planet for education. In Brigu Nadi, we have only combination of planets. By combination of planets, we predict things. We don't depend on Lagna or Rasi Lagna or Moon Lagna. So we don't consider. So simply what we have to do is you take where Mercury is. Suppose in your horoscope Mercury is exalted in Virgo. From there you check your Mercury is conjoined with any planet from Virgo. Here we are taking Mercury as Karakamsha Lagna. So from Mercury in the first house, that means in the Virgo, and fifth house, so that is Capricorn, and ninth house, Ninth house is here, Taurus. If there is any planet, Mercury gives the knowledge of that planet. So, for example, Mars is there, it will give the knowledge of science and technology. Ketu is there, for example, English, knowledge of English. Rahu is there, for example, it gives the knowledge of Hindi. Suppose Jupiter is there, it gives the knowledge of, here Jupiter is the native and Mercury is here. Again, it has its own subjects also like mathematics, statistics and commerce. So when it is associated with Jupiter, these type of courses the native will study. So today that is what we are going to learn. So from Mercury, you count 159 the same direction if there are any planets posited. And from Mercury, you count opposite direction. Suppose Mercury is in here, Virgo. Virgo is actually south direction. So south direction, what is the opposite direction for south? It is north direction. So in the north direction, so third house will be here, Scorpio, and Pisces, seventh house, and Karkatak, Cancer will be 11th house. If there are any planets from Mercury, as we discussed, from Virgo, third house, seventh house, 11th house, if there are any planets, the native will give the knowledge of those planets. Suppose Sun is there in the third house, seventh house, or 11th house. Sun is here, political science, knowledge of politics. So Sun is here, social studies, humanities. So that's why, so social studies related knowledge. So the native may study social sciences. And Venus is there, for example, you will study economics, finance, tally, economics, business management, marketing. So these are related to Venus. So like this, from Mercury in the 5th house and 9th house, 1st, 5th, 9th house, any planet is there, we have to check. And 3rd house, 7th house, 11th house, if we have any planet, we have to check. And 2nd house and 12th house also we have to check. If there are planets in the 2nd house and 12th house, all 2nd house, as we discussed, for example, Jupiter is there. Jupiter is here, the native may study like, for example, education related courses. Education related, for example, Bachelor of Education related courses. And biology, geology, these courses generally related to Jupiter. So like this, we will discuss if Mercury is conjoined with which planet, the native will study which course. Now the question is whether the native will succeed in his education or not. Suppose Mercury is conjoined with the Sun, Venus, Jupiter, as we discussed earlier in 159 and 3711 combinations, and 2nd house and 12th house. In the same direction 159 or in the opposite direction 3711 or in the 2nd house or 12th house. Suppose Mercury is conjoined with the Sun, Venus and Jupiter, the native definitely distinction in his exact ranks. So suppose a NEET and IIT examination, JEE means IIT, competitive, it is educational examination. The native will highest score, highest ranks, highest percentage, the native will get a distinction. They will get through the examination with a distinction. The native will pass the examination with flying colors. So, my dear friends, so when we are reading the horoscope, if anybody asks, will I get ranks or? So somebody is preparing for MBBS, entrance examination, that is called a NEET. Suppose somebody is to get admission in an IIT examination, JEE means and advanced examination. So then we have to check in the horoscope of that child, that student. If Mercury is conjoined with Sun and Venus or Jupiter in 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11, 2, 12 houses, from where Mercury is, from the house where Mercury is posited, placed, so then we can say the native will get distinction and ranks, right? So now let's go to some advanced level courses. Some people study more than 2 courses. I got actually, I was an MA English. I studied MA English and MPhil, and at the same time MSc Psychology I studied. So moreover, astrology courses is MA Astrology. This course. So it means you see more than 2 degree courses. So that's why we can say Bahu Vidya Yoga. Bahu means multi. Multi courses of education. Suppose Mercury is with Rahu. Rahu is multi, numerous number of, and Mercury is education. So that's why you see whoever has this combination, that means from Mercury, Rahu is 1, 5, 9, second house, and 6th house and 10th house. From Rahu, from Mercury, Rahu is in 1, 5, 9, 6, and at the same time second house, 6th house, 10th house, for example. So the native definitely study more than 2 degrees. And Mercury is education, and Rahu is here multi courses of education. And when it comes to Mercury plus Jupiter, again Jupiter from 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11 to 12. So here Rahu does not have 3rd, 7th and 11th aspect, because Rahu always rotate anti-clockwise. That's why Rahu does not have 3, 7, 11 form aspect. So that's why we consider only Mercury, from Mercury in 1st house, 5th house, 9th house, Rahu is there or not, we have to check. And from there we have to check, you see Rahu is here in the 2nd house and 6th house and 10th house. So because Rahu is always anti-clockwise, that's why Rahu aspects the 2nd house anti-clockwise. So that's why here Mercury has Rahu in the 2nd house. Rahu aspects Mercury. So that's why here we are taking the combination 2nd house, 6th house and 10th. Anyhow, when it comes to Jupiter, from Mercury, Jupiter can be anywhere 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11, 2, 12. So many astrologers, Nadi astrologers, so they are telling some misconceptions. They say 3rd house and 7th house, 12th house, this percentage, and 2nd house is this percentage. No. Actually, you see here, if any planet is aspecting 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11, 2, 12, so it will become. And now here the native will study multi courses of education if Mercury is associated with Jupiter. So our formula, BN formula is 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11 to 12. So we will discuss any horoscope, any principle, only we will focus on this formula only. So that's why from now onwards, if I say, for example, Mercury is with conjoined with Rahu means, so it will be conjoined with Rahu, or Mercury is conjoined with Jupiter means, Mercury is conjoined with Jupiter in 1, 5, 9 and aspected by 3, 7, 11 and having the combination in the 2nd house and 12th house, preceding and exceeding house, succeeding house, preceding and succeeding house. Okay. Now, is the concept clear? 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11, 2, 12. So from Mercury, Jupiter steady more than 2 degrees. These are yogas actually. So Bahuvidya Yoga and Success Yoga, Safalata, success in education. Some people study PhD, the highest study. So suppose if you want to study highest degree, what do you need? You need knowledge. Suppose if you have higher knowledge, you will be able to complete. Is here it gives highest degree. Venus gives higher knowledge, and Sun is Safalata. When you are making an endeavor, when you are putting an effort, so there should be success. Then only you will go forward. So here Sun denotes success. Sun denotes success. And Rahu is here. What is Rahu? Investigative mind. We will investigate many things. So PhD means he will do some research on a particular issue or particular thing, particular subject. So that's why here Rahu is also necessary. So suppose your Mercury is conjoined with Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Rahu anywhere in 159, 3, 7, 11 to 12. Definitely you will be able to complete your PhD. The native will study PhD. So this is the combination for PhD. And many people, generally they will go for highest studies like MS, MBA, MTech, MSc, IIT, and they want to study some medical courses like, for example, MBBS and engineering. So these courses, suppose they want to, even competitive examinations like IAS, IPS, and civil examinations, then what combination we should have? Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. This is called Saraswati Yoga. This is called Saraswati Yoga. So here Mercury is, Mercury is education planet. Venus is here, gives you higher knowledge. And Jupiter, highest degree. So if Mercury is conjoined Venus and Jupiter, definitely will complete at least master degree. So that is MS, MBA, MTech, MSc, IIT, like the NEET examination and IPS, IAS, these competitive examinations, IIT, NEET, IPS, IAS, these examinations, the native will be able to attempt and he will succeed in these examinations. For example, let's take Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. In his horoscope, you see Mercury is conjoined with Jupiter and Venus, and in the 12th house Sun, and in the 12th house Mars, and in the second house Ketu is there. You see, suppose Venus is conjoined with Mars and Ketu, so then there will be no education yoga. But here, as Mercury is associated with Jupiter, the native got education here. Not only you see the education, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, this is Saraswati Yoga. So he was an IIT Kharagpur student. It is not a job in those days. So in those days, to getting admission into IIT is really, it is just like a Himalayan task. So it is very difficult to get admissions into IIT because limited seats were there in those days. Now seats has been improved. So there are now many seats are available in IIT colleges. Colleges are now more than 23 colleges, IIT colleges has been more than 23 or 24 colleges in India now. So you see, such a extraordinary student Arvind Kejriwal, because he has Jupiter, Venus and Mercury combination. When Jupiter is with Mercury, even though there is Mars and Ketu are there, the knowledge, the native will have knowledge of science and technology. And moreover, Venus is there. Venus is economics. He was also, you see, IRS officer. IPS, IAS, IPS, and third cadre related. It is IRS is just like third cadre after IPS, IAS, IPS, and IRS. So such a prestigious post he got. So here R mean revenue service. Venus, Mercury is connected to Venus here. So Venus is here, finance and revenue, money related, banking related. So he got the employment IRS. And Mercury is connected to Sun in the 12th house. Here Sun is political knowledge. He has very good political knowledge when he was an employee also. So that's why once he came out of, once he resigned his job and he came into politics, these are things happened actually because of the conjunction Mercury and Sun, political awareness, political knowledge, political enlightenment, or whatever it may be. So like this, Mercury is here connected with Venus and Jupiter. This is called Saraswati Yoga, very good yoga. In the horoscope, Jupiter, Venus is connected with Jupiter and Venus. We can definitely predict that the student will get ranks, no doubt. Definitely he will get ranks, no doubt. Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, he will get topmost ranks in the examination. So anyhow, the native will complete even master degree also. Master of Science here, MBA, Master of Business Administration, or Master of Technology and Master of Science. So like this, you see, the native can study master degree up to master degree also. So higher studies. And let's go to some people, they will go foreign for education. How can it predict? Moon is traveling Rahu and Ketu body, foreign body. So Rahu is here foreign. Ketu is Rahu, Ketu denotes foreign. So if the native has Moon and Rahu in his horoscope, again the same formula from Moon, suppose Rahu Ketu is 159 and 2, 6 and 10th house. From Moon, the native will go abroad. But why the native will go abroad for education or employment? That depends on other combinations. Suppose Mercury is conjoined with Moon Rahu Ketu, Moon Rahu or Moon Ketu, then the native will go for education. And Jupiter is there, the native will go abroad. The native will go abroad for what? Higher studies. So Jupiter is here. Jupiter, Venus both will give higher studies, higher knowledge. Jupiter is here, gives higher knowledge. Venus is higher knowledge. Jupiter gives highest degree also. So like master degree, it may be master degree or post graduation or even PhD also. But when we are talking about PhD, Rahu is also necessary because that is investigative mind. The native will have investigative mind. So understand, my friends. You see, when we are predicting certain things related to education, the native will get ranks or safalata, success here, sammanata here, Jupiter, respect. So higher studies here. So higher studies, the native will get or not. We have to check like. And now let's come to no education yoga. You see, some people will come, sir, will I get ranks? Will my child, for example, they will have their concerned parents generally. The parents are very concerned about their children. So they would come to us. They would ask, sir, my child will go study well or not. So what should I do? So then we have to check. Suppose he is planning for medicine, MBBS. So after 10th class, 10th standard, so plus 11 and 12th class, suppose 12th class or 11th class, when he is joining, the parents would ask us, sir, should I admit him into these science, medical sciences or these mathematics? So you prefer mathematics or biology? So generally you see, for example, if the native has, for example, Mercury is associated with Mars and Ketu. Mercury is associated with Mars and Ketu. Jupiter aspect is not there. Then it is very difficult even to get through the exam. How can he pursue such studies like MBBS? So that's why better we ask them to any technical subject. So that technology, Mars is technology, and Ketu, Mars and Ketu both is technology here like electrical, electronics, mechanical. So engineering is better. Whether he will pass the examination or not, that doesn't matter. They will have knowledge of technical knowledge. You see, if you take for example Bill Gates' horoscope, in his horoscope, Mars, Mercury, Ketu, these three planets are in the same direction. That's why he was a dropout of Harvard University. So it was sensational, you know, he had more knowledge than Harvard students, but he was dropped. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if Mercury, Mars and Ketu are together, they are knowledgeable. But Jupiter also joins this combination, this dosha will be warded off, then they will become good engineers. They will become very good engineers, technical person, respectable technical person, because Jupiter gives respect here. So my dear friends, so we have to check here whether Mercury is associated with the Sun or Jupiter or Mercury, Venus or Rahu, then we can say the native will study well. The native will study well. And suppose Mercury is with Mars, Ketu, no studies. So no studies, disturbances. Suppose again Jupiter is aspecting, there may be breaks, but he will have good knowledge. He may not get certificates or highest ranks. He will not get a highest rank. But one thing is here sure, he will become a very good technician. They will have very good technical knowledge. Now let's go to educational breaks. If Mercury and Ketu are connected in the horoscope, that means from Mercury, Ketu is either posited in 1, 5, 9 or second house, 6th house, 10th house from Mercury, then we can say the native will have breaks in education. But Jupiter aspects, this dosha will be warded off. But we have to check Jupiter is aspecting this combination of. So again, another very important, this is very important point for astrologers to predict such an event. So you see nowadays many students are admitted in the engineering colleges only by their parents. So by parents pressure and social expectations from society, from relatives, generally these children are, whether they have interest or not, they are admitted into engineering colleges. There are so many engineering colleges in every state. We can easily get admission if we just invest if we give donation. If we are capable of paying donation, we will get admissions. But the rich people here generally admit their children. So without asking their opinion, they admit their children into engineering colleges, and in the first year, second year, they may be detained due to some failure of certain subjects. So that's why immediately what they do, 1 year waste. So they cannot wait for another year because they will lose hope and confidence. So that's why they will shift over to another course outside in another university or undergraduate course or graduate or postgraduate course, whatever it may be. So that's why you see some people who discontinue studies, they will have this type of combination. the Mercury in their horoscope, either it may be retro or Mercury may be exchanged with another planet. So, for example, I will show you one. So, in this horoscope, you see Mercury and Venus both are exchanged. Because of this exchange, already Mercury is connected with Ketu and Mercury is connected to Mars. That's why there will be educational break. So, when Mercury Venus are exchanged, so that this Parivartana Yoga, this is called Parivartana Yoga. So, when two planets exchange their houses, so that is called Parivartana Yoga. Here, because of this Parivartana Yoga, this man, though he joined engineering and discontinued his studies and he joined General BSc in a degree college due to the exchange of Mercury with Venus. So, my dear friends, like this, if you are able to predict things like this, you will get a really, respect in the society and you will be held in high position. That's why, my dear friends, if you are really interested in Brigu Nadi, true Brigu Nadi, there are nowadays you see courses are available in the market. They are mixed, you see Parasara and other Vedic principles. But I can challenge with anybody. I can answer any question within BNN for you. Limits won't be. I will never go against BNN. Because I studied this precious subject with the inventor here, the pioneer of this BNN is R.G. Rao sir, late Shri R.G. Rao sir. So when he was alive, I was associated with him. I learnt the subject from him. I was best student of R.G. Rao sir. He many times with many people he lauded me and he appreciated me. So I don't know other subjects thoroughly like the Vedic sciences, Vedic astrology or KP or any Parashara. That's why I only so deliberately here I have no other choice. So I studied and I researched only on BNN text written by R.G. Rao sir. BNN text written by R.G. Rao sir. So that's why. So I decoded that. I decoded profession related and success and family related problems. Many things I decoded from that book. So, my dear friends, if you are interested, we are conducting regular classes and online classes and weekly online classes available. If you're interested, join immediately. My number, you can call me. My number is 99866561567. Okay, now let's come to another thing here. Some students generally fail in examination due to love. The combination will be Mercury is with Moon, Mars, and Ketu. So here, Mercury Ketu is love, but Moon is cheating here, Mars is here, harassment, disturbance from a lady, Moon and Mars here. So he will have to attend court sessions and he will have to go to police stations for many times. So Mercury, Moon, Mars, Ketu is there when he was studying education. The native is studying. During his study, he will fall in love and he will be cheated with his lover, so that the native will have problems. And one more extraordinary thing I will tell you: the more planets with which Mercury is conjoined, the more languages the native would speak. Former Prime Minister of India, so former PM of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao, Shri. P.V. Narasimha Rao. This is the best example. You see, I am showing his horoscope here. So P.V. Narasimha Rao, actually his Mercury is posited in Jewel house. That is his own house. And there are also two more planets are there. So actually he knows more than 17 languages. You see there Mars, Mercury and Sun is 3 and Moon is also in dual house 4. So 4 into double. So it will be 8. It will be 8. And at the same time Mercury is aspecting in the 3rd house Jupiter, Saturn and 5th house Rahu and 11th house Venus and Ketu. And Mercury is retro and aspected even Moon also. That's why. So here, so 4 into 2, 8 plus the remaining year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 planets. So generally you see Rahu is connected to Mercury. It will give multi-language. It will give the knowledge of multi-languages. That's why here this native has more than 70 languages he could speak, and he could speak, and he was a very good writer. He wrote many books in Hindi, English, and he was a literary person. Basically, he was a journalist and he was a politician. And in Congress government, he was Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. He was President of Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister of India. So like this man, because of Mercury connected to all planets. That's why more knowledge, and he was a versatile genius, all-sided personality, because Mercury is here retro, and at the same time, so the native here had the knowledge of law also, because Jupiter is in the 3rd house and so 11th house Ketu is there with Venus. So this is the knowledge of law, and Mars is also there, criminal knowledge, and Venus is civil knowledge, and Jupiter is here. So the knowledge of law, Mercury, the native, and that's why he was also studied law, and he was a law student in a prestigious university. So here Mercury is retro, so that's why in his life also, when he was studying law in the university, Osmania University, he was banned because he was against that government related or something. So then he was banned, he was debarred from the university, and then he shifted over to Madras or Mumbai or somewhere, and there he completed his law. So when Mercury is retro or when Mercury is exchanged, generally this type of things will happen. Okay, my dear friends, now we have learned today what is it when the student gets higher knowledge, and whether he will get ranks or not. We have seen, that is, again I will repeat, if Mercury is conjoined with Jupiter, Venus and Sun, Rahu, then the native will have versatile genius, and he will be able to get ranks, good ranks, highest ranks, and he will get through the examination with flying colors and with distinction. When Mercury is associated with Mars and Ketu, there will be failure. Now, which subject the native will be able to learn? What course he will do? Let us now learn. So, for example, Mercury is conjoined with which planet? So, the native will get that subject related study. Suppose Mercury Sun is there, the native may study social sciences and like politics and civics, history, and particularly Telugu language. Mercury plus Sun is Telugu language. So suppose he is Telugu people, for example, they may study literary Telugu literature, for example. Suppose some people may not study political science, history, civics as a special subjects, like MA civics, MA politics, MA history, but they may not study, but they have knowledge of politics, history, because they read number of books and number of subjects like this, political science, civics. So, but they don't study in the university. So they have knowledge one. So some people, if Mercury and Sun are together, any one, the native will have definitely historical knowledge and political knowledge, political science, knowledge of political science. And in the similar way, when it comes to Mercury, Moon is here psychology, mind. Moon is fine arts. So you see, so we have there are so many art here, fine arts and music, dance and everything. So generally Moon gives fine arts, the knowledge of fine arts. And chemistry is here Moon plus Ketu. Ketu is Aushada. Moon is Aushada. Aushada in liquid form. So Ketu is necessary. That's why I have added Mercury, Moon, Ketu. Then the native will study chemistry. So Moon is also necessary. So here Moon के साथ केतु होना चाहिए. So Moon should be conjoined with Ketu. And water geology related, marine engineering and navy related. Navy is Moon. So water related technology. Mars is technology. Navy is water related technology. Marine engineering also. Marine is water related and engineering is technology. That is Mars. And hotel management and food related courses and agriculture related, tourism courses, study of Tamil languages. Tamil. So study of Tamil languages and Dravidian languages like so Tamil, Malayalam. So these people generally Mercury, Moon are together. They will study special subject as Tamil literature, Dravidian literatures. Dravidian languages, they will learn Dravidian languages. Language specialists, they will become language teachers, language specialists. Suppose Mercury is, for example, with Mars. Mars is technology. The native will study engineering. So mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering. So this combination must be Mars plus Ketu. Mars plus Ketu. Chemical engineering, Mars plus Ketu. Ketu is here chemicals. Marine engineering, Mars is technology, Moon is water. Aeronautical engineer, space is Rahu and Mars is technology. Rocket technology is related to Rahu. Rocket and aeroplane, helicopter, these are all Rahu related vehicles, these transport vehicles. And physics, Mars is physics here. So mining, gems and minerals, gemology courses, these are all related to Mars. Civil engineering, Venus plus Mars. Mars is here, structure, construction, Venus is here, out. Irrigation, Moon plus Mars here. Moon is here, irrigation, Mars technology. So you may be an technical person in irrigation department. Archaeology people, Mercury is here, land, and Mars is technology. With some technology, they will excavate, so they will discover something. And Vasthu related, Mars, Venus. Mars is here, construction, and Venus is house. So that's why Vasthu related Pandits also. The knowledge, Mercury and Mars are together, then it will have knowledge of Vasthu and archaeology, civil engineering, and physics, mining. So these are all related to Mars. But here, with Mercury and Mars, Jupiter also should be conjoined, so that he will study all these languages. So then he will get certificates like MSc, this particular physics, and or engineering, mechanical engineering, or electrical engineer. So like this engineering. So he will study in the university. Then only he will study in the university if Jupiter is connected to Mercury and Mars. So this is generally what is happening. And now Jupiter plus Mercury. This is you see, Mercury has some special subjects it will give. That's why it should be associated with Jupiter then. So it is accounting, BCom, commerce, math, statistics, CA. So here Mercury is mathematics, commerce, statistics, logic, education. botany related, and Mars astrology. So here Jupiter is also here Bachelor of Education. So education related. So education related courses. In the similar way, suppose Mercury has a Jupiter with it. Jupiter has some special subjects like biology, zoology, philosophy, audit and accountants, Bachelor of Education, study of Sanskrit language. Jupiter is here, Sanskrit. Suppose Mercury, Jupiter are conjoined in your house, you will have knowledge of Sanskrit. So you can study Sanskrit courses. And when it comes to Mercury is with Venus, the native will have higher education. So particularly Venus denotes economics, finance, marketing, and civil engineering related, and architecture, housekeeping, beauty parlor, boutique, retail related courses, and textile related courses, music, dance courses. So here Venus and Moon both are music and dance. So Venus generally denotes music, and Moon is here art forms. So it may be dance and painting like this. So that's why Moon, generally Venus Moon give music and dance related courses. They will study music courses, dance courses. And when it comes to Mercury, Saturn, generally these are administration related courses like MBA or HR related courses and professional training courses, whatever it may be, so that the native will suppose watch mechanic and TV mechanic and cell phone mechanic. So these are all professional training courses. So they will study those courses, and so that they will depend on those courses. After completion of their courses, they will lead life with these courses. So they will become mechanic and as we discussed, watch mechanic and TV mechanic, like cell phone mechanic. So they are as we discussed, professional training courses. When it comes to Rahu, Rahu is computers, Rahu is Hindi. So here Rahu denotes nuclear science, nuclear chemicals, nuclear physics, foreign related courses, and foreign related studies, of course. Shared related education like computer courses, television courses. Television means nowadays news channels related, anchoring, and news readers courses. So photography, graphics, animation, cinema, computer science and engineering, aviation, aeronautical engineering, information technology, study of Hindi. So Rahu is here study of Hindi, Urdu, Arabic language as specialization. And particularly Rahu is media, Rahu is press and news channels, journalism. So that's why Mercury Rahu should be together for these courses. They will study these courses if Mercury is connected to Rahu. And if Mercury is connected to Ketu, this is English language foreign studies, and Ketu is law, Ketu is medicine, Ketu is pharmacy, Ketu is chemistry, Ketu is theology, philosophy, study of foreign language such as English, and electricals and tailoring related, theology, astrology, healing related, occult sciences, and the law and endowment, telecommunications, fashion designing. So these are all related to Ketu. So if Mercury is conjoined with which planet, so Mercury gives the native the knowledge of that particular subject. Suppose Mercury is with Ketu, the native will have the knowledge of astrology or theology or knowledge of English. So knowledge of law and knowledge of medicine. So he may become lawyer, he may become chemist. So my dear friends, so where is your Mercury posited? First you identify from that house, Mercury is posited in Virgo. From there you count 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 11. Whatever other planet is posited in these houses from Mercury, Mercury gives the knowledge of that particular subject related to that planet to the native. So that now you can select, checking your children's horoscopes, whether he will be interested in astrology or he will be interested in science and technology or social studies or biology. So you check. So in which courses he is interested. So then you suggest that particular subject so that he will have good knowledge of that particular subject after completion of his education. So moreover here, whether the student is slow learner or the student is fast learner, how can we tell? Suppose, as we discussed earlier, Mercury is conjoined with Venus, Jupiter, and Rahu or Sun. Then the native will be fast learner. Suppose Mercury is conjoined with Mars, Ketu, Moon, slow learner. Though Saturn is aspected, he is a slow learner, but he will learn more than other people. So finally, they will succeed. If Jupiter aspects this dosha, Mercury plus Mars plus Ketu, this dosha will be warded off. They may not get certificates from university, but they are natural intelligent, natural talent. They are naturally talented people. So, my dear friends, I request once again, if you like my videos, please subscribe so that you will get notifications when I post new videos. Okay. Good day, all of you. Namaskar.